Previously on Treasure Divers. In a 10-million-year-old boneyard 60 feet under, a fish diver videotaped signs of a shipwreck.
Is that a cannon?
That is a cannon, absolutely.
Holy shit.
Cannons, elephant tusk, and a wooden deadeye from an 1800 sailing vessel.
Right there.
Probably had 2 or 3 large boxes of hard money on board, coins.
It's all evidence of a slave ship returning to Europe.
This will be the first time in history you can hold a coin up and you could say, this coin was actually used to buy somebody.
As we zero in on the exact location of the sunken ship, Fizz discovers a piece of pewter.
This is the best piece we've got so far. First piece.
But before we can dive again, a hurricane heads right for us, while the Deadeye Boneyard remains just out of our reach.
Shortly after Columbus's voyage of discovery, the Spanish started sending treasure fleets back to Spain. And they did that for more than 300 years. 300 years of treasure fleets going right past our little island here. And if the pirates didn't get them, sometimes the hurricanes did. There's nothing like the sound of silver. This is what it's all about.
There's one thing for sure, if you don't go out and look, you'll never find it.
Captain's rules.
The location of all sunken treasure is secret.
Navigational coordinates will not be shared.
Any clues regarding these locations are probably false.
We were ready to dive the Deadeye Boneyard in search of a slave ship that sank over 200 years ago, when Ernesto reared his ugly head.
Ernesto is making itself known in the Florida Keys. Rain from the tropical storm is already falling there. The southern half of Florida is either under a tropical storm watch or warning.
When we initially saw Hurricane Ernesto, we thought it was going to actually miss us like most of the storms did last year. This one, though, turned and it started heading right towards the Florida Keys.
This is the scene right now, the very early stages of Ernesto. It will get much worse. A lot of people in the Florida Keys, they're just going to ride this out, even though tourists have been ordered to evacuate.
I don't know what track it's going to take, and if it's taking the track that's predicted, it means it's going to come right across us and really tear us up pretty good.
Of course, we won't be able to dive during the storm, but I'm hoping that the wave action will make the bottom churn up a little bit, maybe expose things that were buried before, or at least so we can metal detect and get closer. I think we're okay for now, but once that thing hits open water, it's going to be a butt kicker. I don't want Mr. Hurricane to blow these away. That'd be a bad loss. They've been lost since 1733. No fun losing them again.
Thanks for coming over, man. I know it's getting pretty bad out there. Appreciate it.
Bad? You ain't seen bad, dude. I had to snorkel the last 100 yards. Let's get down to business and then we can drink.
Nothing like spending a long night telling ghost stories, like the one about our elusive shipwreck in the Deadeye Boneyard.
The Deadeye Boneyard. I've been chasing it for about 4 years now. I mean, we know it's there. We got the pieces of it. I think this treasure, which I believe is on a slave ship, may have a curse on it. I had a couple of superstitious divers was saying, we ain't never going to get this. This treasure has a curse, and every time we get it together to go after it, something bad happens. That's true, it has. Coming up on the Time Ranger, the worst luck I've had in 37 years. We have mechanical breakdowns. But when we're tuned up and ready to run, we have horrible weather. The money keeps running out. We have backers, but they never quite kicked in enough to get us out there as often as they should have. I'm not ready to give up on this. I know it's there. We did find that piece of pewter. Now I know it's lightweight, maybe it tumbled around a bit, but it's a piece of pewter, it's old, it's of a good period, at least for me it looks like it fits. So no, we're not giving up. We're going to regroup again and go after it.
We'd run out of money for doing anything with Jim Whitaker and the magnetometer study. We did have this underwater camera, the garbage cam that we've used, and we had enough money to put some gas into Hydrosport to head out to do that. So that's what we decided on doing, was to go out and use the garbage cam and see if we could kind of find a needle in a haystack.
Faulty coordinates, high seas, and horrible visibility. And now a hurricane. Nothing would keep us from finding that slave ship and the treasures it held. We've got a good plan in place, and I think it's going to be good. All we got to do is wait for this hurricane to go away.
That's because I made up the plan.
Well, yeah, it might work, but I think it's about all we have right now. I guess all we can do right now is kind of wait for the hurricane and get over with and sing.
Hurricane party.
A party, all right.
Are you ready?
Hey, pack up all your cares and fares away.
Here I go, singing low.
Bye, bye, black sheep.
Blackbird.
Oh, sheep, not sheep, not
Where
sheep.
somebody waits for me.
As it turned out, Ernesto's bark was worse than his bite. The storm had passed, and it was time to put our plan into action. When Treasure Divers returns, we drag the garbage cam for a fisheye view of what we hope is the Deadeye Boneyard.
There she goes. Garbage can away.
Forecast for clear skies and calm seas, we headed back to Sarasota Harbor to continue our search for the Deadeye Boneyard. This time we pulled a few dollars for gas and placed our hopes on the contraption we lovingly call the garbage can.
All right, guy, you ready for this?
I got it. Got it. Oh, boy. Yeah. I admit it does look like a garbage can, and that's probably because it's encased in one. This is a one-of-a-kind piece of equipment. Two really good, expensive television cameras mounted in front of a Pulse 10 towable metal detector. Hello.
Hey man, what you doing? You about done?
Yes, we have it done.
I just want to make sure you had everything done and all ready to go.
Somehow I knew that. Where the hell are you at?
Well, look off to your right. So everything's working on this okay?
Working great, guy. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, bro. How you doing, Dennis?
I'm doing great.
Doing good, man.
All right. Dennis Benefido has been working with me for 4 or 5 years now. He sees to it that the equipment is shaped up, it's ready to go, everything's on board. Since we're positive that out at the Deadeye site, we know that there's a Deadeye and a chain plate showing, laying on the bottom, and then there's, of course, the 10-million-year-old bone scattered in the same area. Besides that, we can clearly see one cannon at least And I think I can see two other ones in the background, and the elephant tusks are showing. So if we drag that camera anywhere near one of those three items, we're going to see it.
Okay, Dennis, there she goes.
Garbage can away. These new color cameras, 180-degree field of vision, and as we're dragging it along the bottom, we can see everything that we're approaching and everything off maybe 10 or 12 feet to the side.
Okay, guys, we're pulling picture now.
All right.
And that's what the bottom looks like.
That's the visibility down there today, huh?
What would you say? 5-6 feet of this?
Yeah, on a good day. In the depths that we were working at, 60, 70 feet, a diver can only stay down 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes at a time. And having the garbage cam go down and stay down as long as you need it, we could actually run it for 2 hours as long as we had tape to run.
Now, in case something is buried and we don't see it, the Pulse 10 metal detector will go off, and when that does, we'll simply hit our GPS and we'll have the number that hit is on.
Getting a little deeper water here. We're getting a little clearer.
Ah, there we go.
Good shots now. We simply drag it behind the boat. That's why we needed a heavy-duty container for it, and that's why the heavy-duty plastic trash can was chosen.
I just had something go across the right-hand screen here. I didn't know what it was.
All right, all we need to do is see a cannon.
I'd love it.
Or a Deadeye.
Or even Johnny Depp. I don't care.
Johnny Depp, yeah.
We could probably see a cannon from 6 or 7 feet. If it's buried deeper than that, I'll sit down and cry. What the hell was that? Whoa,
Hey, stop it.
I got a GPS mark on it. I don't know what it was.
That's a good
You
hit.
know what? I could barely see it though. Yeah, but it was up and it was fairly fast hitter.
It was metal down there because the mag went off. That's promising right there.
It was something.
And we'll get that on instant replay tonight when we pop in the tapes.
The hit on the metal detector went by so quickly, we really couldn't see much. Could it be an iron cannon, chain plate, or a cannonball? Were we finally on top of that slave ship and the treasure it held? I was on the edge of my seat to get back and look at those tapes.
Well, you know, today was a really, really good day. We got a lot done. The new camera system worked without a hitch. Can't wait to see those tapes that we make. There was one area there that looked really interesting, and the metal detector just went wild. I mean, it went haywire. So I'm very, very excited about getting to the next step here and getting back out there and diving those GPS hits that we marked today. Kate never did do anything, and it's not in our vocabulary. We work hard. We enjoy being on the water, but the real joy is finding this. And that's what it's all about, my friend. Ringing it up and letting it shine.
What's up, dude?
On his way home, Fizz stopped off to see a unique collection of treasure from a typical slave ship.
Whoa, Dick, you got a lot of wonderful pieces here. Well, more than I thought, more than you were telling me about on the phone. Dick Holt is a local guy. He's been involved in treasure, and I knew he had some slave ship memorabilia, if you want to call it that.
10 beads for human life. Life is very cheap.
Gail's specialty is slave ships. So I decided to ask her what she thought about what we might find.
I'm interested in Carl's wreck because I would like to document it as well, as much as I can. I'm very interested because I can read a little French. So if it's a French ship, I would like to help find out what ship it was.
That's a sea salvage piece. This one actually came off of a sunken slave ship. Hard to believe, isn't it?
If they'd sold an average cargo of 300 people for US $300, that would be considered some. And it could be in any currency. It could be Spanish money because New Orleans was once Spanish. It could be French money because of the French connection, the selling the Gulf Coast, Biloxi all the way over to New Orleans.
The others are really primitive because they didn't care if the ship sank, they'd lose them overboard. And then the other leg irons I have inside, I'll bring those out and show you. They're really good.
If you find a ship that's got an abundance of the shackles on board, then you can pretty much figure that's your slave ship. But every ship carried them to a certain extent. Whoa, looky. I wouldn't want to try to run wearing these.
Well, you'd be laying on a flat bunk with those and then chained together.
And the heat and the misery, people next to you dying, very little food, very little water, and that went on for weeks. And this entire trade went on for 300 years.
As horrible as these things really are, it's kind of good that we've got a lot of at least fine examples to look at to show this is about as educational as it gets. And it's just kind of a reminder of mistakes that were made in the past, and maybe we won't make those mistakes in the future.
Very big mistakes. Very big.
Yeah. We'll invent new mistakes, but hopefully this won't repeat itself. I took a sneak peek at a little bit of it, but I haven't reviewed the whole thing yet.
Well, one place where we
The next day, I got together with Fizz to review the tapes.
that one spot on that one camera that we saw, I really want to get back to that and take a look at it.
Okay.
All right, let's go pump them in and see what we've got. This area right here that we're looking at right now looks real close to where the original tape was taken.
Right. It's close.
We were looking for signs of the slave ship, cannons, elephant tusk, and a wooden deadeye, accidentally videotaped by the diver.
Really, you know, the topography and all the aquatic life down there looks real close, like that. Yep, right in there.
You never really know till you eyeball it.
It looked like the boneyard, felt like the boneyard, but still, no bones, no cannons, no deadeyes, and no slave ship.
I'm getting tired of looking at the same bottom over and over. I've been in the water maybe 30 times out there. The problem is we ain't covering the ground fast enough. Let's come up with some kind of plan, take one more shot, and if we can't find one of those things,
Well, there's one option that I hadn't really talked to you about, and that's using, you know, those scooters that we have? If we can use those, a 40-minute dive down on this site, we should be able to cover a lot of territory.
You could take a bag with a buoy. You don't have to take a metal detector. All you gotta do is eyeball what's showing.
Tie it off to whatever, shoot a buoy,
Yeah.
and we're there, right?
The scooters would be perfect. Using double tanks, I could stay down for an hour. We just needed another strong technical diver that we could trust.
I haven't give those numbers out to anybody.
How about Melanie?
She's crazy about me. I think she'd do it.
She's a good diver,
Yeah,
and she's technical enough,
yeah. And
and
we got 2 scooters.
we got 2 scooters.
Melanie Paul's a friend of mine.
mask on.
She's a great technical diver, and she also understands how to do a search and recovery pattern using the scooters.
Why don't I give her a call and see what she's doing and see if she can come out and help us?
That sounds good to me, and while she's here, you know, to save money, you know, she could stay with me. As a matter of fact, she beat on my door all night one night.
What did she want to try to get out?
That was my line. Why did you take it?
Hello?
Hey, Mel, it's Captain Gary.
Hi.
Hey, how good are you at keeping a secret?
Of course
I called her up and told her about it. She knew that we were treasure hunting, and treasure hunting just kind of sparks an interest in everybody. It's intriguing, and of course it was intriguing to Mel as well.
Sure. What time?
She was very excited and made arrangements as quick as we could to get out there and dive this site.
I'll see you then. Bye.
Don't go away. We're about to hit the boneyard on high-speed scooters and see more of it than we've ever seen before. If there's treasure out there, we'll find it when Treasure Divers continues.
Over 30 dives, one magnetometer study,
All right, all we need to do is see a cannon.
and several garbage cam surveys later, Fizz and I have yet to discover the final resting place of an 1800 slave ship and the treasures that went down with it.
They didn't just pick up slaves, they got ivory, gemstones.
Once caught on videotape by a diver in the Gulf, the exact location of the shipwreck, its cannons, and African trade goods remains a vexing secret.
The problem is we ain't covering the ground fast enough.
Today, our secret weapons are 2 scooters and the chance to cover a lot of ground, up close and personal.
Gary! Captain Gary! How's it going?
Good. All right, good to see you. Hey, look at what we got.
We'll go right to the spot where Fizz found a small piece of pewter and prehistoric bones, close enough to smell the Deadeye Boneyard.
Let's get them on board and get out of here. The plan here is to take these scooters. You and I are going to do like a search and rescue pattern, a crisscross pattern down there, looking for any artifacts, whether it be a cannon, dead eyes, bones, whatever. We find anything at all, we're going to tie a line off to it, shoot a bag.
Okay.
All right, and then Captain Fizz is going to jump in when that bag comes up and go down and check it out. All right, so that will enable us to cover an area pretty quick.
Right.
And Fizz to check out the artifacts that we find.
Okay.
Anything Mother Nature didn't put there, tie one of those buoys onto it. We know for sure there's at least 5 big objects showing. 4 of them are shipwrecked, and 1 of them is old bones, the big ones. And I'm sure that the ivory tufts are from the shipwreck. So my guess is it's all in a fairly small area. So once you find one, just buoy that because the other ones are nearby.
Okay.
We'll get down there, Mel, and kind of take a navigation, which way we want to go.
Okay.
And then, take off and do a SAR. All right, search and recovery pattern. Why don't we also do like a 15-minute surface check? Go back and forth about 15 minutes, come to the surface. And that way, if there is something, then we can all regroup and go back down in that particular area.
All right. Excellent.
Good thinking for once. You want me to spit in this for you?
No, thank you.
You gonna make me go in first? Bait. All right. Fine. No problem.
Oh, it's not that
I
cold.
knew it.
It's 82.
82 below.
Nice and warm? Liar.
All right, Gary, you ready?
82.
Got my hair wet.
This is the big one.
All right, Doc.
These underwater scooters, a good piece of equipment, and Gary likes to dive on those doubles, and that gives him a lot of bottom time. My feeling is he could cover 2 or 3 miles down there on one of those. Then, of course, when he finds something by eyeball, he can put a buoy on it, and then I'll go down and see what the buoy's tied to. So that way we get maximum efficiency out of all of our downtime. We weren't doing that before.
So when Mel and I got down on the bottom, we established our search pattern and started going around and looking. See anything?
No,
See
I didn't see
anything?
anything.
All right, I was doing a north-south,
I was going east-west.
east-west. All right, let's move over about 30 yards or so, And let's go back out and do the same thing. I think I'm about the third pass. We found that bone. It was a vertebrae that we pulled up. I believe it was a dugong vertebrae that we pulled up. So that said we were in the right place. And I knew right then and there we were in the boneyard site. I mean, there was bones from the video that we had seen from that fish diver video. Your heart starts pumping a little bit and you get excited. It's like, oh boy, I know I'm there. I'm in the right area.
What's up?
Look at there. We're close.
Vertebrae. Well, that just told me for sure we're either in or very close to the boneyard site. As long as we're picking up bones, I feel that it's nearby. Nearby to me, I don't know, it might be quarter of a mile. I don't know for sure, but close. Out in the ocean, that's not much.
You get excited because you know after we found the vertebrae, we were in the right area. And then, lo and behold, just a few minutes later, boom, there's a cannon just pops right out at us. Your heart starts beating. It feels like it's going to come out of your chest, but you know you're down at depth and you need to kind of settle down and not do that. I've heard stories of people finding stuff and then they shoot to the surface and boom, they're dead.
Buoy's up.
Time for you to go down.
The cannon is a little swivel gun or a rail gun, and that cannon could be from this particular slave ship, I believe. They were armed for sure because, it was illegal by this time. The British and the Americans were chasing slavers. They sank quite a number of them. So yeah, if it came down to being shot or shooting it out and trying to escape, they would choose to shoot it out. And a quality gun, of course, would be better. Most of the ships had them, but they didn't have the really nice bronze ones. That tells me quality. Somebody spent money on that ship.
Fizz had dove that area 30 times, so we knew the situation before we went out there. But Mel finding that cannon the first time, beginner's luck, and it was a good find.
Yeah, boys, that's a bronze rail gun.
Hearing it from him was probably the most exciting thing, that he confirmed that we just found the cannon.
I found a lot of iron rail guns, but that's the first bronze one I've seen on the bottom.
Good, then it's time to celebrate.
That's right. Dom Perignon 61, please. We need to talk about bringing it up or leave it down.
No. Leave it down there.
That's my feeling as well.
We need to get that permit, man, to pull it up. It can take anywhere 6, maybe 8 months to a year. So
I'll wait here.
Okay. All right. Well, let's tie a buoy or a line off to it.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna put an underwater buoy on it, maybe 4 or 5 feet off the bottom, and we can find it a lot easier next time.
Perfect.
I'm gonna go tie this line.
All right.
Bronze rail gun.
Oh, yeah, I'll have a beer, celebrate when you come back up.
Yeah, but
I'll set one down.
not till I get back. Hey, I'll kill you guys.
Is he gone?
He's gone.
Okay, let's get some
Let's
beer.
get some beer. All right, cool.
It's just not smart to bring a cannon up no matter what it's made of. When you do, people see it. I don't care what dock you go to or how you try it. Somebody's always looking at you. Legally, you need to file an admiralty claim on it. That means that it's yours and you own it.
You have to supply in public court record for the admiralty the GPS numbers.
And once you do, it's a matter of public record. And there are people that I know, in fact I'm one of them, that periodically check on who's filing admiralty claims.
If we do not have the money to stay out there on site and all the equipment in place, we could get into a situation where other people come out and try to jump our claim.
If you got to stay on site 24 hours a day, you stay there. And until all the good stuff at least is on board. And a little bronze canyon like that, very valuable, very rare. If we were to bring that in and just one person can keep a secret, 2, I don't think so. How lucky was Melanie to spot that cannon on her first shot? You know, this has happened numerous times. Beginner's luck is, I guess, what I would call it. So that's what it looks like to me, and I'm happy she did.
You know what they call that, what we just did to you?
What?
That's a Milwaukee baptism.
Great!
That'll help you.
They always told me I needed religion of some kind.
Here you go, bro.
Dude,
Celebrate.
that's right.
That's a good one. All right.
Let's just stay here.
Well, we got to go back. We got to do all the paperwork, make sure all that's right. All right, and we get back out here, we'll be able to bring it all up.
Yeah, I know.
So what kind of ship would a cannon like that be on? What's your best guess?
Well, anytime you got a bronze gun, you figure you have a quality ship, no matter what the hell kind it was. I think this was a slave ship.
How did you know it was bronze?
Green patina. It was mounted in the gunnel, and they would load those suckers with glass, rocks, nails.
Whatever they could find?
Just like a scatter gun. They'd use them to ask people, don't come on the boat.
Yeah, it's definitely not a nice welcome aboard, is it?
No, it's not. I'd like to pick up something else to file the Admiralty claim with. Now, could you use the pewter piece? You probably could, but the backers are not happy about a piece of pewter because it's lightweight. It's lightweight, and it could tumble for miles and miles. What the backers would like is something substantial, like maybe the Deadeye, because that's a nice solid piece. It's hooked to a piece of iron, and we know it didn't go far. So if we could bring that in and file on that.
We can't get backing on just the pewter, and bringing up a cannon with no backing is too risky. But that didn't make us any less excited about the cannon.
That was just totally amazing. Totally amazing.
Well, it was hard because the visibility was so bad today, and then you see something and you start trying to brush the sand away from it, and then the visibility gets even worse, and then when it finally clears, it's a great surprise. It's right there.
Tell you the truth, I didn't believe it, and I had to take extra time licking. This thing's killing me because I'm just tempted to go right back out there tomorrow morning and burn 2 or 3 tanks and grab what we can freaking grab. Poor visibility, but the thing is, if it was in 20 feet of gin clear water,
it wouldn't be there.
Everybody'd be picking it up.
Dennis, we got the numbers all nailed down, don't we?
I've got them logged in.
All righty, fantastic.
You guys did really good, and I'm glad you came along, and I want to call along again, but she's young, she's beautiful, she's smart, she knows what she's doing in the diving. What the hell is she doing with us?
When Treasure Divers continues, we dive the boneyard with a new strategy to find the perfect artifact and stake our claim. We've come a long way in our search for a sunken slave ship. From the pewter and bones Fizz found,
First piece.
and the hits detected by the garbage can,
What the hell was that?
That was something there. Listen to that hit.
to the cannon we found with Melanie.
Power of Christ compels you.
Ironically, it's still not enough to pinpoint the Deadeye Boneyard. And worse, we have to keep our best discovery a secret.
We've decided to leave the cannon just because as soon as you bring something up, number one, the word gets out. Number two, we want to make a determination if indeed the wreck is worth filing a federal admiralty claim on. If it is, it'll start getting expensive. And if it isn't, well, then we'll just have to regroup and make another decision.
Now, just because we're out of money doesn't mean we're out of possibilities.
We're going to a meeting of the Sarasota Venice Dive Club. I know a lot of the people. I used to live in the area, and we're going to ask for volunteers.
We need some divers and we need some boats to actually go out and take a look at a site that we've located,
Almost located.
Yes.
We would like to get 5 boats, 2 divers per boat, and each boat will drop their anchor on one of the numbers we have for the boneyard.
We're looking for a cannon. We're looking for a deadeye. We're looking for chain plates, bones, pieces of the ship, anything that doesn't belong there.
Then they can go down and scout the area for maybe 300 feet around or so. And if they find something that Mother Nature didn't put on that bottom, they're going to tie a buoy to it. It'll go to the surface. This is kind of like the dream that every diver has, get onto a virgin shipwreck site.
Is anybody interested in helping us out with that? With show of hands, could I see who might be able, I have the sign-up sheet right here, and if you'd like to sign up, if you don't mind coming up right now and sign up, we'd sure love to have you. Come on up.
All right.
Come on up. Got a pen right here, right on over here. Come on.
She's on my boat.
You're a diver, you have a boat, and that's good too, a boat, so you can wait ready to once, that's a boat.
A few weeks later, conditions are looking good, and we're back in Sarasota for the big dive.
Tomorrow we're going to meet up at Longboat Pass. It's a pass that's right off Sarasota. We're going to head offshore as a group and dive the boneyard site. One of the things that we don't have, we thought we would have, was more boats. We've got about 12 divers that have signed up to go with us. The problem is we don't have enough boat spaces for them all to go.
We're assigning divers to the boats, and we're going to get on different numbers, and everybody's going to jump in the water tomorrow.
We believe this wreck is in a very small location, and that is one of the reasons why we haven't been able to find the main wreck itself.
Chances are, if this is what we believe it is, it would have been small, fast, lightly armed, maybe 8 or 10 small cannons. Also, the film shows a lot of small round things that may or may not be cannonballs, but a lot of things look suspicious. The film is grainy and not too clear, but anything you see that Mother Nature didn't put there, just put that buoy right by it, and hopefully it'll put us onto something.
These numbers and the way that it lines up, it goes north and south. I want everybody to kind of use their compass and go north and south on these numbers here, where I'm going to be concentrating on the scooter going east and west.
If we do find something worthwhile, then we will go to our attorney and have him file a federal admiralty claim on the site. What that does is it gives us ownership of it.
It'll be the first time in history we'll be able to hold up a coin and say, this coin
was used to buy somebody.
Absolutely. And that, my friends, will go down in history. The cannon may be the only thing we find out there, but tomorrow should give us a good clue as to whether or not we're going to find anything else on the site. We got a barbecue tomorrow. All right, and I would like everybody, we're going to have beer and barbecue and all that, and we want everybody to show up for that.
If we don't find anything off the site, it's back to the drawing board, because we do know it's in that area, but it's kind of like examining the Sahara Desert through a straw.
So we've got 2 boats going out today. We've got 5 divers on one boat and 6 on this boat here. So we weren't able to get the 5 boats that we wanted, but we've got 11 divers, and I think we'll be able to cover the area pretty well. The place that we're going to be diving is fairly close together as far as the hits that we got. We're talking within a quarter of a mile.
It's been exciting. Last night was a little like Christmas. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to sleep. So I'm looking forward to a good day.
The conditions are about as good as you're going to find on the Gulf. You can hope for better, but you're not usually going to find them. Typically, you're talking waves that are 2 to 3 feet, maybe 4s. Today, I don't see a wave that's higher than 1.
Once we get everybody in the water, if somebody locates one of the targets, and we're only going to be needing to look on hard pan bottom, so if somebody finds something, then I'll go down and hopefully tell what it is. And we get one piece of that wreck. I know it's in a concentrated area. That's one reason why we haven't been able to jump on top of it. But all these people today, we're going to cover a lot of ground.
There's a big cluster of numbers, of hits, these gamma hits, where we use the magnetometer. And so basically I got you on the very southernmost hit. So we're going to anchor up on those. Do your search patterns to the north. All right, so from the southernmost hit to the northernmost hit is about 100 yards. So I would do just a big rectangle. We're looking for reef area where these big gorgonias are. There's a bunch of gorgonias down there. There's reef as well. That's the prime area we're looking for.
Gorgonians are large sea fans, like the ones in the original Boneyard videotape. If we see any, we could be in the right area.
We've drug a camera along here. We know what some of the bottom looks like. And there's also some rock structure down there as well. That's the areas you want to look at. All right? Anything you find, anything at all, go ahead and tie a line. Wrap it, shoot a buoy on it so we'll be able to find it again. Probably the best analogy I've heard of treasure hunting is taking a quarter, burying it in a football field somewhere, then taking and putting a 5-gallon bucket over your head and trying to find that quarter. That's pretty much what treasure hunting is like. So it's a needle in a haystack, but we have good research behind us, and that helps narrow the area down. Our plan today was to go out and concentrate on 2 areas that Jim Whitaker had previously magged for us. The plan was to have our 2 boats of 11 divers. One boat concentrate on the south area and one boat concentrate on the north area. And we concentrated on the south, and it was pretty much all sand down there. It wasn't topography that we were looking for that looked like the original Boneyard tape.
Well, they're spread out pretty good. We had a group of 4 running a compass course, and last time I could see their bubbles out here off the port side, about 100 yards away. Gary's on the scooter. God knows where he's at. I haven't seen his bubble since he jumped in. Probably run to the 7-Eleven store or something.
As we're cruising the underwater Sahara to the south, finding a whole lot of nothing. The divers on the north site are getting a taste of their first treasure dive.
It's exciting just to be on a treasure dive. I've never been on a treasure dive. If we find something, that's great. If we don't, that's great too.
This is sort of the fulfillment of a dream and a story that goes back quite a few years. I made my first trip to Key West over 30 years ago as a young boy, and at the time I went through Mel Fisher's museum, which was on a replica Spanish galleon way before anybody learned about Mel Fisher, way before he was famous, and at that time I decided I wanted to hunt for treasure. Well, it took about 30 years, but here I am, and I'm out hunting for treasure. So it's kind of a fulfillment of a lifelong dream.
The North Dive team has encountered a spot that looks a lot like the final resting place of that sunken slave ship.
There were the Gorgonia, there were the hard corals, there were a lot of starfish, a hard bottom area, like he had described. So we had a pretty good feeling that we might be in the area, but what I found actually turned up to be almost under my boat.
Captain Rich on the North team has spotted some wooden planks and sent up a buoy. As we try to check it out, most of us, including myself, are out of air. Since I was the first to splash with 3 dives at 70 feet and very little surface interval, my dive computer told me to stay up. One more dive could be my last. Now Fizz will dive and see if he can identify the find.
I can't go down now. I've reached my limit. I've got my PO2 is up and my nitrogen's up there, so I got to sit out up here. But that was kind of the plan. It's frustrating for me to be up here and not knowing what's being found down there, but that's part of the game. That's the reason Fez was sitting out, and I was down there. Now Fez is down there taking a look, and hopefully he'll spot it.
By the time I got suited up and got down there, the water was starting to kick up. In fact, first thing I noticed was our anchor leaving the scene. I had to swim it down, stick it into a rock. And then, now I go out looking for the buoy, and when I find it, it's being pulled off the side as well.
While Fizz was looking for the planks, another diver on the north site sent up a buoy.
But he did find something that seemed odd. Actually, the color, it was covered with some dead coral and things. It was really round, not something normal. And I tried lifting it up from the ground, and it was too heavy for me. So I tied a marker to it. I wish I had more air left. And you always find the best things right at the end of your dive.
Diver up.
Did y'all find it? No?
Okay, I'm saying you're not as heard today. What's your position?
Where's Fizz?
I heard WS, show copy. That's 10 by 16.
Where was Fizz?
Yeah. He's on something. Try to go down there and find out what he's looking at. Knowing him, it's probably a beer bottle. An old beer bottle. We're this close. And then we run out of air. It's frustrating. Now we've got some good hits, some good visuals, and we're running out of air. So it's frustrating.
Diver up.
We got diver up.
Fez is right down there.
What'd you see down there?
Not a goddamn thing. What do you see?
Not a goddamn thing.
Huh?
Nothing.
I didn't see anything. And I looked around a pretty big area. I don't think there's really anything in a couple hundred feet around here.
Come on aboard, man.
That anchor was dragging a lot. I got it stuck in a rock. The chain ain't even on the ground.
PO2 started going up and I couldn't stay out of it.
Well, that was smart. Not that I ever accused you of doing something smart. I'm sorry. I hope I wasn't out of line with that stupid remark.
Come on, buddy.
Hey, that hurt.
I'm sorry.
No, you're...
They didn't do those things.
I had a keeper on it, but I lost it.
Search continues, bro.
That's right.
We ever gonna find this thing?
Well, we found a good place to look.
Yeah.
And that took like, what, 3 tries?
3 tries, yeah. Well, we know maybe the main part of the wreck's up here.
Well, the stuff showing on hard pan, this is hard, but it's not quite the bit. Well,
we haven't gone to the other sites up there. I mean, we need to go all the way up to the other hits. The Fizz went down
guys, if you can hear thunder, it's time to get the hell off the water.
Got our other boat. Is it safe to assume they're leaving?
Yes, they're out of here.
Well, today we eliminated a few spots, but at least we're going to have a little party tonight, and everybody's invited, and we'll just regroup. I'm sure everybody will talk about what they saw. When you got to the bottom of the buoy, what was there?
I didn't see anything.
I can only assume it was moving because if our anchor was moving, something that lightweight would move too.
Yeah.
So, let's go eat and have a beer and regroup, and
Sometimes you make sense.
that's right.
I just wish we'd have gotten out here sooner with the other boat at the first rumble of thunder.
We went on in and they stayed out. I guess they got caught in a storm, so that's why they're a little bit late getting back.
Even if Fizz and I got to the party on time, we never did see and couldn't shed much light on the planks that Captain Rich found.
It could have been planks from a ship. It could have been the door from a shrimp trawler. Could have been anything, but I like to think that it was something substantial.
You saw the plank? I didn't
Yes,
see it.
I did. There's a lot of coral and things on it. But yeah, it was neat.
Larry came to film it and he had some problems with the camera, so we don't have any good pictures of it. Makes it kind of like a Loch Ness picture or UFO film footage. The boy that I marked it with apparently got moved somehow in the process, either picked up and moved or just pulled along with the current. In fact, one buoy that we dropped before we started diving just completely drifted off altogether. So it's on its way to Cozumel by now.
I think it was more than one piece of wood.
At least two, maybe more. Hard to say for sure. But I would like to go down and take another one.
When are we going?
As soon as I get the boat fixed, it's still making funny noises.
Well, we'll find it next time. It's time for us to go. All right. It's been a long day. See you on the next day.
Thanks to all the divers who stuck it out and made it to the party.
Guys out.
4 hours and one monster storm later. Now we're finally getting some of that barbecue.
Dude, that was one gully washer we had to come back in.
Well, I've been in 3 hurricanes. I always swore I'd never be in another one, but them little storms that sneak up on you like that really kicks your butt. Kicks your butt. And then a couple of them, bam, bam, and the bolts started flying out of the fiberglass, and I thought, well, we're gonna die. We're gonna die. And then I asked one of the young ladies, you know, would she grant a dying man his last request? She said, hell no.
Well, you know what? I mean, at least it wasn't a total waste today. I mean, we did eliminate some areas that we needed to, and we've come up with a plan for going back out there in the future and magging that area. But I think we found the spot.
We found the bones, we found the pewter, and the cannon. We know where the ship might be, and a few more places where it's not. A little more time, a little more cash, and we'll be back.
I think we're gonna just have to wait until we get the better boat, but we're into summer. We've got a couple other things on the list. In fact, I'd like to get that boat on a trailer and take it over to the other coast. Art McKee told me once, I'm going to tell you how to find treasure. You keep looking.
And that, my friend, is something we will do, and we will find it.
You're going to have to keep your hands off of her, okay? Keep my hands off of Melody? Yes, you're going to have to do that. Any clues as to the location of these treasures are probably bullshit.